You know, the Special Olympics movement has as its origin a fundamental principle, and it started in 1968 with that fundamental principle active and alive. The fundamental principle was that everybody deserves a chance, and that sport can be a vehicle for expressing everybody's capacity to contribute. It's no surprise to any of us that the Knights of Columbus were there at the beginning, and that they've been there for 40 years strong.
The Knights of Columbus and the Special Olympics, of course, have had a long relationship, and it's a relationship at several levels. One at the local level, where our Knights and our families are very much involved with their neighbors and their communities where Special Olympics is active. We're active at the national level. We're active at the corporate level. So between the Knights of Columbus and Special Olympics, we try to be as active as we can be in the United States, in Canada, and Mexico, in all the countries in which we're active.
We really find ourselves very much at home with the Knights, that mission, the concept that people with special needs, who might have been considered the most vulnerable people, the most, in a way, broken people, the least strong, the least powerful people, that they could be Olympic, that they could aspire to the ideals of human greatness. I mean, this was a complete reversal of people's expectations. We reversed those paradigms, and greatness became about the spirit. Greatness became about what you bring to the table, not what you're given at the start. Greatness became about perseverance and courage and friendship and openness and love. If one looks back into the 1940s or 50s or 60s, one sees a pattern where you begin with the idea that a person with special needs has no value, is a mistake, is hopeless. And so in the medical profession, in the social services profession, people would say to a mother, get rid of this child. Give the child to the state, the child will be cared for, but the child is hopeless. There is no need for you to love this child or to care for this child. It's too much. So we saw really a terribly tragic period in the history of people with special needs, where horrible institutions were created that were not necessarily created out of malice, but out of indifference. People housed like animals, people treated like worse than animals in many respects, and families forever separated from the idea that their child mattered, never able to be proud of a son or a daughter or a brother or a sister, for many never even seeing that brother or sister, and all the guilt and confusion and tragedy that is accompanying that kind of experience. I think what my mother felt was that that had to end, that we had to recover not just families, their hope, their pride, their love of one another, but we had to recover dignity. And so Special Olympics was an attempt, in a way, to open the world's eyes. You know, we started in a stadium. It is not just about allowing play, but it is allowing the world to see. Fill the stands, come and watch, change your heart, change your bias, change that attitude that is so hopeless and so tragic, and replace it with an appreciation of the joy and spirit that everybody has, if only they get a chance. And you know, our athletes did the rest.
Hello.
We're the parents of Clayton Myrick, who was diagnosed with autism at age 2.
Special Olympics became a focal point of his life at about age 10. And that's when he was introduced of some of the sports that Special Olympics encompasses in their program.
Because he's, you know, been in Special Olympics for just about half of his life, I don't know what it would be like without Special Olympics. I mean, it's probably, for me, it may be the most important thing. I mean, even equal to or greater than the education inside the classroom, because of what it's done for his personal development.
I think that the emotional and the physical and the community benefits that Clayton derives from Special Olympics, as do all of our athletes, can't be stated enough. The kids have just a sense of a team and a sense of pride and honestly a sense of competition. I mean, I must admit, some of our kids are fairly competitive, and you would almost not expect that from them. But they want to, you know, they want to get out there and win, and they like having that gold medal.
I'm still very competitive with the other guys. And look at all these medals. gold, silver, bronze. Oh, wow.
I'm amazed that he doesn't have any stage fright. I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities to do a lot of public speaking myself, and I always get butterflies, so I don't know how he does it.
I was chosen in 2005 to become a global messenger for Special Olympics.
With each speech that he does, you can see the growth over the years. He's really becoming more confident, and that this is just a part of what he does. You know, he takes his job seriously being a speaker for Special Olympics.
Having a little sister that was born with Down syndrome was something that, you know, you never anticipate, you know, until she was born. I don't think I'd ever known someone or met anyone that I remembered that had any kind of disability, whether it was physical or intellectual. I remember my parents sitting my older sister and I down before she was born, after my mom got pregnant, and explaining to us that when Barbie was born, she was going to be different.
All of them in high school says Barbara doesn't have a boyfriend. They were teaching me Barbara has no boyfriend, Barbara has no boyfriend, and I didn't go to my senior prom. They were teasing me. I don't know why, because I was crying. It's kind of hard for me. If my friends were there, they should comfort me, because I didn't want to be teased anymore.
Going through what she went through as a child, I think it made her a lot stronger. And then to go through Special Olympics gave her something to aspire to. I mean, this is something that she will have for the rest of her life. And there are opportunities that she has through Special Olympics that she never would have had otherwise. She's able to compete in 19 different sports. You know, she never would have thought she'd play golf. She does it now. Bocce ball. These opportunities are presented to her because she sees somebody else doing them. And she's like, you know what, I can do that. I want to try that. And there are certain sports like figure skating that, I mean, we never, ever in our wildest dreams would have thought she could accomplish what she does. And now she's amazing at it. And it's her favorite thing to do on the planet.
I love Special Olympics. Special Olympics is like my family.
As we look to the future, we see the Knights of Columbus as continuing to carry the core message of our movement. The core message is that everyone deserves a chance and everyone has dignity. Our future turns on being able to keep that front and center and realizing that it's unleashed, it's exposed, it's taught through sport. But, and here's the big but, this is no longer in the future a movement just about people with special needs. It's a movement about everybody. We don't lose our focus on the sport experience for people with special needs, but one of the things we share with the Knights is a desire to communicate that message so that everyone feels a part of it. So in the future, I can see Special Olympics events that are unified in greater and greater numbers, where people with special needs are competing on teams with people who don't have special needs. Not just one helping another, but both helping each other.
From the perspective of the Knights of Columbus, we would have one simple, concrete goal for the future Special Olympics. And that is that every Special Olympic athlete have the opportunity to compete and find this way of realizing his or her talents, so that every child who could be involved in Special Olympics and who would want to be involved has the opportunity to do so. Because we see Special Olympics as a way of entering into the mainstream of society successfully. And if a child can do it in Special Olympics, it opens up a door to their attitude that I can do it in another field of endeavor as well. And that's the most important lesson of Special Olympics.